Man, how did they make the music so ugly and so beautiful at the same time? Hey music friends, this is Davi Vasc, I'm a music composer for games, and I've been doing some videos on Dark Souls music, and now, naturally, according to you guys, and I agree, the natural next step would be Bloodborne music. So today we're going to listen to and talk about the theme for Ludwig from Bloodborne. Let's go. A lot of dissonance there. Beautiful solo cello. So there's a beautiful solo cello here, and anytime in an orchestral setting when you emphasize a solo instrument like the solo cello here, there's always an increased level of intimacy in the music, of loneliness, because it's just one single human being playing this instrument, so the nuances of that single person and the emotional interpretation of that single person gets more clear, it gets more intimate with that interpretation of that single person. But beyond that, something very interesting that I noticed in the harmony of this initial part here is this. There's something in music called a tonic chord, and here in the channel I tend to call them home chords because that's basically the function that they play. They're the chords where the song rests in, so you get this kind of chord here. Like ta-da, that's the kind of sensation, that's a sensation of conclusion, of finality. The interesting thing here in this Bloodborne piece is the chord that they chose as the tonic chord, as the home chord, is a chord that you can't rest in, is an extremely tense chord, is this one. The chord that they chose to rest, to be the home chord of the song, it's a restless chord, it's extremely tense, it's impossible to resolve, to get that sensation of finality in this chord. So that's interesting because it tells a lot about the intention that the composer was going for this piece. This piece is a piece that does not allow for rest, and maybe with that they're trying to say that Ludwig himself here, there's no rest for him, there's no peace for him. And these choirs, man. There's so much anguish in this solo cello, so much emotion. Oh. Nice. And listen to this rhythm. It's such a slow, kind of an undead rhythm. The rhythm is such a slow back and forth. It's really a fitting rhythm for a decayed, decrepit creature like Ludwig. It sounds like a kind of an undead march. Now this is interesting, and there's some high-level stuff that they're doing here in this vocal part, in this choir part, and you probably noticed that, of course, it sounds very disturbing and very tense, but other than that, it sounds very old, it sounds very authentically like old music. And one of the reasons for that is because they're using a very old system of harmony, different from the one that we use today. Nowadays, if we want to do harmony, we usually just pick a chord, we pick a bunch of chords, and we usually put the melody over the chords. what they're doing here is something called counterpoint, which, like I said, is an old system of harmony that people, it originated in the medieval times, and it was popular still in the Baroque period and the Classical period. It's something called counterpoint, which consists of basically composing separate melodies and then putting those melodies together on top of each other, and that creates harmony. Something interesting about using this old style of harmony here is that maybe it helps emphasize an aspect of Ludwig himself, in the sense that he is old. He is supposed to be, a hunter, a hero that passed away a long time ago. He is someone that has been deceased for a long time. And we're back to the lonely cello here. Something that I'm noticing in this piece, and I guess that's something that they do a lot in Soulsborne music, is they use a lot of clusters, which are these group of notes that are not necessarily any chord. They're just grouping disturbing notes together to create this disturbing effect. And one of the favorite clusters that people use all the time is this. So listen to the choir that comes in. So it's these two notes here. It doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as music theory goes. It's just two notes that sound very unpleasant and disturbing. Okay, so that was phase 1, Ludwig the Accursed. So now it's time for phase 2, Holy Blade. Let's go. Again with the disturbing choirs. Man, how did they make the music so ugly and so beautiful at the same time? It got a bit more heroic there at the end. This is completely different. Man, the transition here is so clear. You know, before this part, the music was so chaotic and, you know, such a degenerate abomination that it felt difficult to even analyze it, because it was just chaos, it was just confusion. There were very little patterns that I could grasp from the perspective of music theory to analyze. It was just dysmorphism, you know, lack of form. And of course, music theory is a human construct to a certain extent, so of course it makes sense that they would want to walk away from recognizable human constructs to drive the sensation across of an inhuman being. But when this transition happens here, it's just so clear that no reference to Dark Souls intended, but the humanity of the track is restored. Like, check this out. It's like the song became human again. This is just normal Western music theory. So now it's still very loaded with sadness and suffering, but it's much more heroic now. Man, look at these. The cymbal hits. This cymbal hits, it puts a lot of impact into the track, and it's a great way to portray, you know, a battle with a lot of impacts, a lot of hits. And something else interesting that I noticed here is that this song is in a triple meter. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that songs are usually either in duple meter, which is 2, or triple meter, which is 3. There can be others, but it's usually either duple or triple. And triple meter, weirdly, it's often reserved more to more uplifting and light-hearted songs because it's a dance kind of meter. It's a dance song kind of rhythmic pattern. So for them to put a dance music kind of rhythm in this song here, it's kind of messed up, isn't it? It sounds like a kind of a sinister dance of death or something like that. There's a little bit of that madness, that chaos from before. Hey, I've done videos like this one about Dark Souls music as well. I'm gonna put them here on a playlist. And remember, whenever you're ready to spread your wings and go on a music journey again, I'll see you there.